Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Today marks the first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in Canada. At the Lloydminster Catholic School Division's Synergy Vault, a blanket ceremony was held to teach the history of Indigenous people. A blanket ceremony is an activity that portrays the history of Indigenous people in Canada as the European people arrived in the country. The blankets represent the land Indigenous people had, and over the course of the exercise, the land gets smaller and smaller, and more people leave the space as the Europeans bring in treaties and new laws. The ceremony Thursday morning spoke about events from around the area, making it a lot more personal for the participants.
All those things come into effect. It makes it more real. Residential schools only closed 25 years ago. It didn't happen 10,000 years ago. It just happened recently. But yet people don't seem to realize that. So that's making the realism come to life in that blanket exercise.
The ceremony was attended by students, Synergy Credit Union staff, as well as Lloydminster Catholic School Division staff. The exercise was very moving and emotional, which had a big effect on not only the participants, but those running the activity. LCSD wants to make sure this type of exercise and the history they learned from it comes across in the classroom.
Discoveries of lost children over the summer have caused schools to really try to understand how do we address this even more fully moving into this year and the years to come. There's no doubt that this is a moment in time in Canada where all of us have to ask questions of ourselves and how we can do better in our relationship as treaty peoples.
For Synergy Credit Union, they were glad their employees got the invitation to participate and learn more about the Indigenous history they weren't aware of and bring those lessons into their own lives.
If we don't understand our history, we can't see the current opportunities to find solutions to. We'll only continue to make and repeat those mistakes of the past. So I really think that's so key. And I really like the way the Indigenous talks about reflecting back 7 generations and forward 7 generations, because that's how you really make improvements in this world for everybody, right?
With the knowledge and history shared, Young spoke on the impact of seeing people emotional at the ceremony.
I feel sorry for them because lots of people really don't know the truth. And then I think that's good they're learning the truth, and I really appreciate that they're really listening. So it's a step, it's little steps. We're starting to inform everybody. The truth has come out, there's no getting around it. We're going to have to deal with it as Canadians.
Jasmine King, Primetime Local News. A fundraiser will begin next week to raise money to promote anti-bullying efforts in the community. Stacey Comer spoke with one of the organizers to find out what's planned.
I'm joined today on Primetime Local News by Desiree Cornett-Weil. Desiree has started a group called Mothers Against Bullying. And Des, you have a big fundraising event coming up here. So tell me a little bit about what is planned.
Well, we did our first fundraiser back at the beginning of July, and we had people donate things for a silent auction. So we didn't have a lot of time at that time because we just wanted to get a base down so we can start getting into the community and reaching out to these children. So we kind of just tucked those away. And now, hopefully on October 5th, we're going to launch a live auction on our MAB Facebook page. And this is the logo you'll see when you're looking for it on the Facebook page. We're going to have it on Instagram. We're definitely going to load it on Facebook right away. Hopefully I can move it over to Instagram depending on my schedule. And it's just the local community has come together and has just been donating items. And we've gotten macrame from Suzanne Young. We've gotten things like gift baskets from Slay the Night crew. We've got art from a local artist. We've gotten so many items, and items keep coming in. My friends, my crew that are part of MAB as well, they've also had items dropped off. So, I mean, we have enough to get started, which is wonderful. Very, very appreciative. But we're hoping to run it for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then people can donate as we go.
So Des, when the final money is raised, the final total, do you have an idea what the cash will be used for at this point?
Well, right now, we have a coloring contest that's just being launched this week at a local school, and then what we're going to do with that, with the winning of that, is we're going to put on a pizza party, and then the child that actually wins their coloring contest will also get a gift card to like their favorite store. We were going to do them all, but we all know how that is going. So, and then what we would like to do is like we would like to, although COVID's been a bit of a kicker, we would just like to have events. We would like to start doing something like Fall Fest, or I would like to have bouncy houses in the parking lot of my shop, and getting people out with a barbecue. So we just want to use it to get back into the community and to show these kids that we are here. You do not have to be afraid to come speak to an adult. You're not going to get in trouble. I just actually dealt with a situation where somebody that wears Jaden's swag is actually bullying a individual that's very close in our life. So these kids need to know that if they're going to bully, we are going to be there. And these kids in Lloydminster now have a silent army behind them.
Well, Desiree, this is obviously a project close to your heart for a very unfortunate reason. So most people know your story, but for those who haven't, can you tell us a little bit about your son, Jaden, and what happened with him?
It gets me. So June 20th, I was in the city at an eye appointment. I knew Jaden had been struggling in this relationship that he was in, and to me, it needed to end. But I was too late, and just because it was my son's situations, it happens in any situation. There was manipulation and bullying, and Jaden was just made to feel that his life wasn't worth living. And he took his life June 20th, 2019, and he left two younger brothers home, or left them to be raised without him. And to me, it was a severe mistake, but he was bullied to death. And so now I'm on a mission to let these bullies know that it's no more. It's got to start at home. I've been advocating that, but we're here and we're coming for you guys. And this is not anything that's violent. This is not anything that is going to, bullies should be nervous, but it's just because we want to blow it up. We want to get a hold of the parents, get a hold of the teens or the kids or the adults or anybody that is being bullied or is the bully, and see what's going on and maybe try to offer them help, or, even just programs. And that's what we can use funds for, just programs for self-esteem building and stuff like that. Like, we're very new. So we just need funds to be able to try to give back and do things for any sort of age group that we can reach. My son lived to help people. And so I had received a message from a beautiful friend of mine, Lister Doucette, down on 50th from Crystal Books and Healings, that together, Mom, we're going to reach the children. And so on my side, I'm going to reach them. And on his side, he's going to send them to me. So we are here, we are not going anywhere, and we are going to spread out. So bullies, just know it's done, it's over.
Now, Des, if people want to help out in other ways besides the auction, do you need volunteers for anything, or can people join the group, or what other avenues do people have?
I said, my husband's best friend, he's like, how do I join? I'm not a mom, I'm bald. So, and I said, if you have a mom, if you know a mom, if you are a mom, you are welcome. Anybody is welcome. If somebody is struggling, reach out. That's what this group is for. We are here to help. If it's a different town, reach out. We will do what we can, and we will get to that child what we can. We are here. I am making a stand. This is going to be my life's mission. And if you want to join, just get a hold of us. We don't really know. We're kind of going by the seat of our pants right now, but the more people that join, honestly, the more resources and ideas we can conjure together.
Well, Des, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for speaking with us. And once again, if anybody's looking to either donate to the auction, purchase items, or join your group, what's the best way to find you?
On Facebook. I have a really hard time doing Instagram and all the other social medias. Facebook is a really good one, just because we also do have our MAB. It's the logo there, so you can get a hold of us on there. Just Facebook, just reach out, and here at the shop too at Dark Hour Inc. Come in. Yes, whatever, just get a hold of us. Yeah.
All right, Des. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with the auction.
Thank you, Stacey. Have a wonderful day.
A local nonprofit is taking its fundraising efforts to the sky this week, as our Tate Latecraft has the details.
Today I'm joined by a familiar face, as Jacqueline Weed from the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lloydminster is here to talk about an upcoming fundraiser that's taking the form of an online auction. So, Jacqueline, first off, thanks so much for being here. But what can you tell people about Give the Gift of Flight?
So we're pretty excited. So we've had the gift of flight auction before in past years. We've done it for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, for Christmas. This year we thought we'd try for Thanksgiving. So gives people the chance, if there's somebody that's that they're thinking of that they want to go see, or if they've been outstanding and doing things for them and they want to just give it to them, they can as well. So the Give the Gift of Flight auction is on a Facebook auction, so people place their bids on the Facebook post for it.
And just to clarify, the prize itself is a pair of round trip plane tickets to a destination of their choice.
One round trip flight for 2 guests to any regularly scheduled and marketed WestJet destination. And then also a $100 co-op gift card so they can use it for gas to get to the airport.
And it sounds like people are already pretty excited about it. Could you just speak to the community response that you're seeing so far?
Yeah, we always have people that look for this auction every year. So it does start tomorrow at 9 a.m. The post will go live, and people can place their bids in the comment section. And then it will close right at noon on next Thursday, October 7th. And we do go by the time that's on our computer because not every, obviously, some are out by a minute or 30 seconds. So whatever is time stamped for 12 p.m. next Thursday, the highest bidder will be contacted and will be receiving that WestJet travel voucher.
And to take things off track just a little bit, looking to the future, what else do the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lloydminster have going on?
So we obviously with COVID precautions and being safe and keeping everyone safe as much as we can, we don't have any more fundraising coming up. We sort of ongoing do have co-op coupons available for purchase, Panago pizza coupons. You buy a coupon for $12, you get a free medium pizza. So those are ongoing things that the agency does, and all of the things that we're doing for the auction and the ongoing fundraising supports our mentoring programs. Always recruiting mentors, screening, training, doing the matching, supporting the matches. We have 30 kids on the waiting list for a mentor. So there's always that need. And so by doing this fundraising, that supports those.
Thanks so much for your time, Jacqueline.
Western Canada's first ever pop bottle home has been built from 100% recycled plastic bottles. Our Shelby Clark spoke with the Young Green Building Company for more details on the journey and why this is important for the environment.
I'm speaking with Jean-Marc D'Entremont with EcoPlast Solutions to talk on Western Canada's first ever pop bottle home. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, can we start off with you telling us how long this process has been to officially create this home?
Well, I guess we've been incorporated for about 13 months now, so it's been a long process. We're about a couple of months behind from when we were hoping to get it up. But weather and construction and all that was just a little bit late, but we're quite happy with the process and how it's went together.
When did this idea come up for EcoPlast Solutions to create this pop bottle home?
It actually came from a buddy of mine that I played hockey with years ago. They created a company back east and we decided to start it up out in Western Canada.
Would you be able to tell us what exact all materials were used to create this pop bottle home?
It was around 640,000 recycled water bottles, and we just put our lamination skins on each side of the core and assembled on site. It was put together in about 30 pieces. Took 17 hours of panel assembly time to install all of them.
How was support through this whole journey of being able to create this pop bottle home?
It was great. It was great. Our team's awesome. Like can't give enough props to everyone from the guys on the ground to all of the crew in the office, the designers, the architects, the engineers. It's been a great process and couldn't be any happier.
And how would you say the experience was exactly for EcoPlast Solutions to be able to create this?
It was surreal to see it go up. We've been putting a lot of time in and making sure we got all our T's crossed and our I's dotted to make sure this goes smoothly and according to plan, and super surreal to see it standing.
After finally creating the pop bottle home, is there any future plans for EcoPlast Solutions now?
Yeah, we've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. And for people to be able to see this first one, it's just going to be huge for us because everyone wants to see it, feel it, touch it. It's really going to improve our ability to sell and scale up our product.
For people who may be unaware and curious to know why, could you explain why this is so important to have this first ever pop bottle home here in Western Canada?
Well, it's pretty evident that worldwide there's a global problem of not being able to upcycle plastics. And we think we have a really good solution and an end product for users to use for years and years to come.
And is there anything else you want to add for people to know about just concerning the first ever pop bottle home?
Well, it's the first in Western Canada, but our partners back east have built 5 and they were a big help in this whole process. So can't go without mentioning those guys. 2 of them came out to help us assemble, and I'm sure they'll be out again for the next tens and hundreds to go.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on being able to finally create this home.
Thanks for having us.
Now Shelby Clark will take a look at temperatures around the border city. Thanks so much, Jasmine. For a first look at your weather forecast, here in the border city, we are sitting at 19 degrees with a mix of some sun and cloud. So we are seeing a warmer day today. So hopefully everybody is enjoying this nice day and enjoying that nice weather, because we will be seeing around the same for this weekend. Now taking a look at temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan, most are sitting at around that 18 to 20 degree mark here, while Lac La Biche is a little bit cooler at 14 degrees. Wainwright is 22 degrees right now, so a bit warmer over there, and Provost is the warmest, sitting at 24 degrees. Over on this end here, Isla Crosse is at 18 degrees, 19 in Green Lake and Pierceland, 20 in Meadow Lake, and St. Walburg is at 19 as well. Maidstone is sitting at 20 degrees, and Macklin and North Battleford are at 21 and 22 degrees. And speaking of North Battleford, overnight they will be going down to a low of 9 degrees, so warming up just a bit than we were seeing earlier in the week. So seeing a warmer temperature this evening with a lot more clear skies, and tomorrow they will be warming it back up, but not as warm as what they're seeing today, to a high of 19 tomorrow with a mix of some sun and cloud. Switching over to Cold Lake, overnight they will be going down to a low of 11 degrees, so a little bit warmer than what North Battleford is seeing, a low of 11 overnight, but they will be seeing around a higher chance of some precipitation overnight with a lot more cloudier skies, and tomorrow they will be seeing a high of 18 with a more sun peeking behind those clouds. And now taking a look at our school day forecast for all the kids out there in the border city, seeing a warmer day tomorrow with a high of 12 when they're starting off the day with a mix of some sun and cloud. And throughout the day, they will warm up a couple degrees there to a high of 19 by the time the school day is out when they head home from school. And now switching over to our 3-day forecast. Friday, we will be starting off this weekend on a warmer note with a high of 19 and a low of 11 degrees, so a nice low there throughout the night for Friday with a mix of some sun and cloud. And we will be seeing those good temperatures for Saturday and Sunday with a high of 21 on Saturday and a high of 20 on Sunday, with both some sun there peeking behind those clouds on both those days. That is the first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break. Welcome back. Agriculture in the Classroom Canada is providing educators with tools to teach their students the ABCs of agriculture industry with accurate, balanced, and current information. Jillian Code has more.
Today on Primetime Local News, I'm joined by Melissa Gallay. She is an educational specialist with Agriculture in the Classroom Canada. Now, Melissa, your guys' objective is to educate children about the agricultural industry. Why do you guys feel that this messaging is so important?
Yeah, so we know that these conversations are happening, and whether it's on social media or in their peer groups or at school, they're hearing some of these buzzwords. And so we know that it's important for students to be informed. And so as a national organization working alongside our 10 provincial member organizations, we work to provide teachers and students with accurate, balanced, and current information about the agriculture industry. And yeah, it's an important thing to be informed, and food food relates to everybody and it connects us all together. And so it's just really important that we tell that food story.
So you guys are going into rural classrooms as well as classrooms in urban settings?
Yeah, you bet. So we do have 10 provincial member organizations across Canada, and we see those as the boots on the ground, and they're the ones that are engaging and building those relationships with teachers and students. And so rural and urban, definitely programming happening in both of those spaces.
Let's talk about the resources that you guys have for educators. You guys have fact sheets and even a Jeopardy game.
So right now we have 76 SNAP-Ag information sheets, which is a lot of content. And so we're in the process of now trying to find ways for teachers to use the SNAP-Ag sheets in their classrooms. And so a Jeopardy game, like you said, everyone knows what Jeopardy is, and it's a fun game to play in the classroom. And so that was kind of our first opportunity to get SNAP-Ag into the classroom. And I think students really enjoy it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the response been like?
Yeah, so it's been really great. We've done a few feedback surveys on SNAP-Ag, and it's been good to hear how they're being used in classrooms. And we definitely have some ideas up our sleeves of how we can get more teachers using it. Right now, the sheets themselves are one-page, double-sided. They're quick fact sheets about these topics in agriculture. And so the Jeopardy game is a really great way to kind of like pull the takeaways, like what is really important for students to take away from these sheets. But Egg in the Classroom Saskatchewan's actually gone and redone the game to rebrand it, and they've used it in some of their classroom opportunities as well. And so I think the feedback's been really good.
And what type of agricultural topics do you guys cover in the fact sheets?
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of different categories within our SNAP-Ag information sheets. And so animal care, animal welfare, farming and the environment, growing crops, pesticides, plant biotechnology. And like I said, right now we have 76 SNAP-Ag information sheets, and over the next 2 years, in March of 2023, we'll be hitting 100. So we're constantly developing new SNAP-Ag fact sheets that are, speaking to some of the topics that are happening, whether it be in classrooms, on social media, online, or in the news. We're trying to listen very closely to see what those topics are, and respond with the fact sheet so that we know that students, teachers, and the general public are accessing that accurate, balanced, and current information.
Yeah, the egg industry is so robust. So it's wonderful that you guys are able to cover, that many topics. I'm just wondering, what's the process like for creating these fact sheets?
Yeah, we're really proud of our SNAP-Ag sheets, obviously, and they're a really great opportunity for us to cover a lot of different topics. But I'm super proud of the process that we take. So we engage a third-party writer, and each of the sheets is academically reviewed by 3 to 4 reviewers, each of the sheets, and that's a mix between industry, academia, and just making sure that we have those experts taking a look at the content. So I think that's the part I'm most proud of, is that we can truly say that they're accurate, balanced, and current, because we've got a lot of different experts on the various topics that we write about, taking a look at the sheets and making sure that we're providing an unbiased view of the topic.
That is very important, especially in educational institutions. Lastly, how can teachers reach out to you guys and find these resources?
Yeah, so you can just visit our website, aitc-canada.ca, and under the Programs and Resources tab, you'll be able to see Explore Trending Topics. And we just redeveloped this part of our website over the last year, so it's really interactive and intuitive, and you can sort by the categories that you might be most interested in exploring. You can search for the topics, and you can also download the full collection. So if you're wanting to download that full collection for your classroom, you can do that, or you can contact your provincial member organization, and they've got printed copies of the sheets as well. So if you're looking to get your hands on a physical copy of the sheets, they've got those as well.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much for sharing this.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having me. And again, if anybody has any questions, definitely get in touch with me, or just visit the website, aitc-canada.ca.
Now we'll take a look at your egg prices. Last season, the Inland Steel Bobcats saw just 4 regular season games in the Alberta Elite Hockey League. This weekend, the team will kick off the regular season, and as Evan Kenny explains, the team's inexperience could be their biggest weapon.
The Lloydminster Inland Steel Bobcats hit the ice Thursday morning in preparation for their first regular season game this Saturday. The Bobcats have not played a preseason game. In fact, this was the team's first ice time as a whole.
To be honest, it's been tough. Like, we've been limited practice, obviously, with some COVID quarantine issues. So today was the first day we've actually had the whole team together, and we play in a few days. So honestly, we're just going to go into the weekend and give it our all.
The team is made up of 2 17-year-olds, 14 16-year-olds, and 4 15-year-olds. Even with the bulk of the team having U18 experience, only Jaden Plamondon has played more than 4 games at the AAA level.
A lot of these guys only have 4 games of total midget hockey experience, total period. So I think as a whole, great character, hardworking, just kind of a blue-collar team at this point.
The team will travel west down Highway 16, first taking on the Fort Saskatchewan Rangers on Saturday and the Maple Leaf Athletic Club on Sunday.
The positive is going to give us a situation as a coaching staff to really push culture, team, playing together. Like, it's us against the world, and we're going to have to figure it out pretty quick. And regardless of the result, we can't waver as a group in terms of how we treat each other and the things that are most important to us in the locker room.
The Inland Steel Bobcats will return to home ice Saturday, October 9th. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now Shelby Clark will take another look at your weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Now taking another look at your weather forecast, we'll be starting off with taking a look at temperatures across central Alberta and Saskatchewan here. Most are seeing around that 21-degree mark there. Athabasca is a bit cooler, as well as Jasper at 14 degrees. Edmonton is at 17, and Rocky Mountain House and Red Deer at 18 and 19 degrees. Over on this end here, they're seeing a bit warmer temperatures there, reaching over that 20-degree mark. 20 in Meadow Lake and in Cold Lake there. Prince Albert is at 22 degrees, 23 in Melfort and North Battleford, and Saskatoon is the warmest at 24 degrees. And as we switch over to our northern region of the provinces, as you can see, they are a couple degrees cooler there from what they're seeing. Uranium City and La Loche and Buffalo Niles are at 17 degrees, as well as in Wollaston Lake, 18 in Stony Rapids, 19 in South End and Flin Flon, and La Ronge is the warmest there at 21 degrees. Grand Prairie and Slave Lake, Fort McMurray and Fort Chipewyan are all at that 17-degree mark, and 18 in Peace River, while high level is at 16 degrees. And as we switch over to our southern region of the provinces, they are more halfway through that 20-degree mark, close to 30 degrees. Lethbridge is at 22 degrees, while Medicine Hat and Coronation are at 25. Calgary is at 21 degrees, and Banff is the coolest there, sitting at 15. Over on this end here, Yorkton is at 21 degrees, 22 in Regina, Estevan, and Swift Current, and Kindersley and Moose Jaw at 23 and 24 degrees. So a lot warmer over on this end here. And as we switch back over across the region to temperatures overnight tonight, we are seeing a couple degrees warmer than what we were seeing earlier in the week. Bonnyville and Wainwright will be seeing the warmest with a low of 11 degrees, while Bonnyville will be seeing more of a cloudier sky and will have a higher chance of some precipitation tonight. Meadow Lake will be seeing a low of 6 degrees. Isla Cross and Pierceland, Unity, and Provost will be seeing a low of 9 degrees tonight, and Paradise Hill and Myrna will be seeing a low of 7 and 8. But most will be seeing more clear skies or in the evening, and some will be seeing a couple clouds in sight. And now as we switch over to our temperatures tomorrow here across the region, we will be seeing around what we've been seeing today, ranging from around 17 to 19 degrees. So even though we haven't met that 20-degree mark for tomorrow, we will still be seeing warmer temperatures and maybe some slight wind across the region tomorrow. And now as we switch over to our 7-day forecast for here in the border city, Friday will be starting off on a warm note with a high of 19 on Friday with a mix of some sun and cloud and a low of 11 degrees. And on Saturday, we will be seeing a high of 21 degrees and
a 20 on Sunday throughout the weekend. So we are still seeing moderately warm temperatures for the weekend. So hopefully everybody is going out, getting those last camping trips in while they can. And starting off next week, we will be starting off on Monday with a high of 17. So a couple degrees cooler on Monday, but we will be warming it back up on Tuesday to a high of 21 degrees with a mix of some sun and cloud. And Wednesday and Thursday, we will be cooling it back down to a high of 17 on Wednesday with a lot more cloud coverage, and Thursday with a high of 15. That is another look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today, I'm joined by Monique Poulain, race director from the Iron Horse Ultra happening this weekend in St. Paul. So to start, what is the Iron Horse Ultra?
It is a 100-kilometer, 100-mile loop. You can run it as a team or as a soloist. We have about 199 runners this year. We're actually a cap of 200, so we were one short, which really kind of sucked for us. And yeah, it's all on the backcountry range roads, use of the Iron Horse Trail, some private land that the runners can take part in. We have probably for every 2 runners, we have probably 1 volunteer, just marking trail and marking trail and yeah, getting things organized, helping them check in. We wouldn't be able to run it without our volunteers. It's a 100% volunteer run organization from start to finish.
And you had mentioned the Iron Horse Trail. So what exactly is that?
The Iron Horse Trail is the trail that runs on the old CNN trail bed. It runs like all the way across the country, but through the Lakeland area, it runs Cold Lake. There's some in St. Paul, Elk Point, Lindbergh. It's like all over. It's the old trail bed of the railway.
So you had mentioned that the race had started almost 10, 11 years ago. What's the history behind the event?
Ultra distance running is slowly grown into a fairly large event. It's really good for social distancing, actually. People are not very close together when they run that far of a distance, but probably there's a few other runs that popped up. I believe that the organizers who started this one here had been to an ultra distance event somewhere else, probably Grand Cache, possibly in Crow's Nest Pass, and they thought, hey, we could do something like that here. It's amazing for the community. It brings in people. It tends to encourage people to become more healthy, and so that's why I joined it, was just to be part of that huge community. And yeah, they should I think that's why they started here, and we have such a beautiful landscape for people to experience that they don't usually get to. So I think that might be why they started it. It's definitely part of the reason why I joined up with the committee later on.
And what's the whole atmosphere like at this event?
We are really well known for our hospitality. We bring that small town love to our event. We usually have like a great big supper for the runners on the Friday night when they pick up their packages. And then on Sunday morning, when all the runners have finished running, because they start Saturday morning, they don't end till Sunday morning. We had a huge pancake breakfast. Of course, with restrictions this year, everything is outside. We're not serving any food. It's kind of come, run, go, which really sucks, because our favorite part as volunteers is being the hosts and showing off our great hospitality. So hopefully these runners that come this year will return, the new ones will return to find out what we really are about with that big atmosphere. These ultra runners are amazing. They bring so much appreciation to us. They just love the fact that we allow them to go out and run on this land. So yeah, they're full of appreciation and determination, and it's absolutely amazing.
And so, what's the whole course like for this? Is it primarily gravel road or?
If you can think about it, you're probably going to hit it. Yeah, they run, as I said, they run roads, but they also run through fields, and they cross barbed wire fences. It's a little bit of everything. The course is pretty much the same every year. I would hate to try to find a different 100 miles of course to mark. So as long as we can keep the same course, sometimes there's a few little adjustments here and there. Beavers tend to wreak some havoc and flood out some areas, so we have to route around them. But this year it's looking like it's pretty much the same, so it should be good.
I'm pleased to be joined on Primetime Local News today by Troy Reptash. Troy is a familiar name in this region, but today is joining us from sunny California. Troy, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is such an exciting thing to discuss with you, Troy. I haven't looked at the trailer, haven't had a chance to see the movie yet, but They Who Surround Us is a project that seems like it's very passionate for you based on some of your history and your family history. Tell me a little bit about this project.
Yes, it's a very passionate project of mine. It began just 3 years ago, which really isn't that long in terms of getting a film made. I had heard about a competition by the Duplass brothers. They are Hollywood producers that encourage filmmakers to go back to their hometowns and make films in their hometowns, and specifically about underrepresented communities and cultures. So I have been wanting to, I've been acting for many years, but I've been wanting to tell my own stories. And this one, based on my Ukrainian ancestors and my research into my history, it felt like a perfect synchronicity in terms of shooting it in Vegreville and the Hometown Heroes competition. So it all came together really quickly.
Can you tell us a little bit about the storyline? I know that's complex and a lot of different elements to it, but can you kind of give us, I guess, the Coles Notes versions of it?
Sure, definitely. So Roman is a farmer living in Vegreville. It takes place in 1987, and the reason I said it in 1987 is because one of the main inspirations for the film is the research I did into my great uncle. We had thought he had died in Siberia in a camp. But through the research, I found out that he got out of Siberia and was a commander with the UPA, Ukrainian Partisan Army. So I wanted to focus on, and that was between 41 and 43. So in order for Roman to be an age that I could play him, we needed to set the present day in 1987. So at the beginning of the film, he loses his wife in a tragic accident. That happens right at the very beginning. And what happens is it triggers the trauma that occurred before he fled Ukraine as an 8-year-old boy. So it's the unraveling as the story goes on. You learn more about what happened to his wife in present day, as you also learn more about what happened to him as a boy and to his family in Ukraine.
When you were shooting this film, Troy, did you make use of some of the people in the community of Vegreville and a lot of people from this area?
Most definitely. This film would never have happened if it wasn't for the community in Vegreville and surrounding area. They are background performers in the film. They're in front of the camera, behind the camera. They helped out. People volunteered. People were hired to help out. It was a real community effort.
So what was it like for you to have to kind of do everything? I mean, you're acting, you're producing and directing, and how do you keep all that straight and, still go into a scene and be focused on what you need to do? Because looking at the trailer, there's some pretty heavy scenes in this movie.
Yes, it gets pretty intense, and a lot of coffee. And no, I think what it is I noticed from the moment I began this process, it began with me sitting around the kitchen table with my family, talking about something that I'm very passionate about, which is my history and our family's history. And right from the moment that began, I think when one is really passionate about something, there's like, just, at least for me, energy just comes from everywhere. And I had no problem like working 14-hour days and then coming back to the hotel and, planning the next day's shoot. And directing and playing the lead and, you know, working with the script. And, you know, I had an amazing team around me too. I had a fantastic cinematographer and great production designers. And so it was a real collaborative effort. But I think, yeah, because I was so passionate about this, you know, I've been telling other people's stories for so long. So to get to tell my own was such an honor.
So is this film out in theaters now, or how can people view it? Is there an on-demand or a streaming way they can see it? What's the best way to watch this?
Sure. Actually, this timing is perfect because we have been out in theaters in Canada, which is incredible. We've had a wonderful theatrical run. That is sort of winding down, but on October 12th, we'll be streaming across Canada on all the platforms. I mean, Apple TV, iTunes, Shaw, TELUS, everywhere. So you can just go to our website, theywhosurroundusmovie.com to find out. But October 12th, you'll be able to see it from the comfort of your home.
Well, that's fantastic, Troy. Congratulations on all this. And what are your plans now that you've done this? Are you involved in more projects, or are you taking a break for a bit?
No break. I'm busy promoting this one while I'm also writing. One thing I really want to do, and sort of my mission, is to bring more of the industry to Alberta, and specifically to Northern Alberta. You know, my next project is actually set in Edmonton. It's a 7-season anthology series that starts in the 40s. And the first season is set in Edmonton, and then it goes throughout Canada. It deals with the persecution of the LGBTQ community. And so I'm very excited about that and hope to be in production within, you know, the next year or so.
Well, Troy, congratulations once again on everything. We look forward to seeing the new series, looking forward to seeing the movie. So much on the go, just fantastic. And once again, if you could just remind us of the website if people are looking for more information on the They Who Surround Us project.
Sure. If you go to theywhosurroundusmovie.com, you can stay up to date with when we'll be releasing on streaming platforms in Canada and everything else.
Thank you so much, Troy. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Now taking a final look at our 7-day forecast here. Friday will be starting off a lot warmer with this weekend with a high of 19 on Friday with a mix of some sun and cloud. Saturday and Sunday will be seeing that 21-20 degree mark there. So nice warm weather for this weekend. Monday will be starting off with a high of 17 on Monday. So cooling down just a bit starting off there. But Tuesday we will warm back up to a high of 21 with a mix of some sun and cloud. And we'll cool down just a couple degrees on Wednesday and Thursday with a high of 17 on Wednesday and a high of 15 on Thursday, both with a mix of some sun and cloud.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News, and you can watch the second hour on CITL.